Did you know that they play American football in Sweden? Well, they do. And last weekend, I took a trip to Stockholm and got to see the Mean Machines take on the Goldberg Marvels, and also took in some of the sights of the beautiful city of Stockholm. I live in Finland, so you would assume me going to Sweden is no big deal, but that's actually not the case. For me, I've only been to Sweden 3 or 4 times, so I never really went by myself. For this trip, it was just me, a pure American, leaving Finland to go to Sweden, and I don't speak Finnish or Swedish. What's the worst that could happen? By the time I landed in Stockholm, it was time for the Mean Machines to have their last practice before the big game the next day. So I headed over to the practice field to get a sneak peek of what was going to be seen on Saturday. I was really surprised by how much fun the guys were having on the field. Not goofing off or anything, but it seemed like they were just really enjoying playing football. Over the weekend, I stayed with the imports from the Mean Machines, and I really got to know some of those guys. We had some great conversations about football in Europe, life in general, other things that I won't mention on here that we talked about. It was a really great time. Big shout out to Matthew Retzlaff, Lance Tonkillo, Axel Forsberg, and Omar Fall. These guys were great over the weekend. They were very hospitable, always offering me food and drinks and any help, any way I needed it. I really appreciated it. These are 4 stand-up guys. They're not just stand-up guys, they're actually heroes. I witnessed these 4 guys run down and catch someone who had tried to steal somebody's cell phone in Stockholm. They went over and beyond, chased down the thief in the middle of the night, 4 football players chasing down a random guy down the street. He drops the cell phone because he doesn't want them to hurt him. And then they pick up the phone, bring it back to its owner. The owner says, "Can I pay you?" And the guys say, "No money needed. We're just happy to help you." That's the type of guys that they have over there with the Mean Machines. Just that night alone, you earn my admiration and respect. But the fact that this was not anything of the norm for these guys, they're used to being outstanding citizens for the world, not just from whatever country they're from at the time. Even in Sweden, they still have those same values that you really want from a person. So big shout out to you guys. Really glad to have met you and wish you nothing but the best. Stockholm is a beautiful city. The few times I went before, I really didn't get to enjoy it, so I made sure to carve out a little bit of time for me to kind of sightsee and get some culture in. As an American, you know, we're used to things being readily available, everything being new. So when I'm in these different countries, even here in Finland, I try to learn about the history and get more culture. I'm doing it for the culture. I want to know more about the world and become a more well-rounded person. The main reason I was in Stockholm was to see the top level of football in Sweden, the Super Series, live for myself. As a football expert here in Finland, I understand the Vaterliga and the Maple League very well, but I wanted to see what the Super Series was about. Like, what was the eye test? The stats are great, people can say teams are good, but you never know until you see it up close in person. And they did not disappoint in Sweden. Goldberg and the Mean Machines went at it. High scoring game, 30-22. So I wanted to give you like a full like analysis of the game and just talk to you about it, but I could do that for hours. So I'm just gonna give you the highlights of the game. If you really want to know what happened at the game, go to my website, perfectpervis.com, and you get my full analysis of the game, who was the best players, and all that good stuff. But I'm just gonna give you a rundown right now. The Mean Machines were the better team. The score might make you think that this game was close, but if you were to sit at that game and watch it, you would have saw that the Mean Machines constantly were playing better than the Marvels. But the Marvels, I don't want to say they were getting lucky, but they made big plays. And all their big plays were points. They didn't just make big plays, get downfield, and then not capitalize. Everything the Marvels did was big, but they didn't do anything else. And that's where the Mean Machines had the advantage in this game, is they were consistent throughout the game of being better. They just weren't consistent at doing what they do well. Early in the game, Matthew Resloff was in the game. They were throwing him the ball. In the middle of the game, they went away from throwing him the ball, and the Mean Machines offense, it lagged. It lagged during that middle part of the game, but his defense was giving up big plays during that same time. And that's when Goldberg really had his shot to win the game. At the end of the game, the Mean Machines decided, you know what, we're just gonna take this win and go home with it. So they started running the ball. Emil Knudsen, I don't know how to say your name, Emil, but you know who you are. He shut the game down. He ran the ball hard at the end of that game, padded his stats, and took that team home the way that they should. The great thing that the Mean Machines can take away from the game is that they won the game as they should. They were the better team. At the beginning of the game, they came out hot. In the middle of the game, they died off a little bit, but at the end of the game, when the game was really on the line, when it was close, like they only won the game by 8 points. It was close to the last 2 minutes of the game. When that game was close, the Mean Machines shut it down and did what it took to win the game. The Marvels, on the other hand, they've got a long way to go. They had an injury to their star running back, the second series of the game? And from that point on, they were slinging it, but they weren't slinging it well. And then defensively, they really had nothing for the Mean Machines the whole game. Their defense was not going to match up against that team. And when they were successful, it was mostly the Mean Machines hurting themselves, not Goldberg doing anything specific to them. So that's my rundown of the game. It was a good game. Both teams came out, played hard. I wish both teams the best of luck going forward in the season. My trip to Sweden was really fun. I can't wait to go back. I'm also having a lot of fun making these videos. I'm kind of new to vlogging or whatever this is on this YouTube channel. You have no idea how much time and effort I put into this because this is not my natural ability. I'm a writer. I'm pretty good at writing, but when it comes to filming, creating these videos, it takes me a lot of time, and I put a lot of effort into it because I want to be successful at this to the point that you guys keep watching the videos and enjoy it. Want to give a special thanks to Stockholm Mean Machine organization. Those guys invited me in, let me hang out, let me kind of join the team for the weekend. It was really just a great experience, and I felt welcomed, and I appreciate you guys welcoming me, and I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season. I want to remind everybody watching that my YouTube channel is new, so I don't have a lot of content or a lot of subscribers. Content I'm working on. Subscribers, you've got to help me. Hit the red button, people. Just hit the red button, subscribe to my channel, and help me grow, and I'll continue to make these videos. The more subscribers I have, the more likely I am to keep making these videos. If I get more subscribers, I have more motivation, and then I'll start making them on a weekly basis. Subscribe to my blog as well, perfectpervis.com. You can subscribe to that channel and get all my written content. That's it for me this week. Appreciate you guys watching the video. And last but not least, don't forget, Pervis knows. Pervis knows. Pervis knows.